Welcome passengers to Reading. We are on the first Great Western Railway Class 43 HST to London Paddington. All we need to do is set up there, neutral, that one, and that one, and I think we're ready and raring to go. So, brakes off. Let's have a nice shot. Like that. That is a good shot. And then let's go for some smoke. Yeah, look at that, baby. Right. So yes, welcome aboard this gorgeous Class 43 HST, numbered 00000, which is some sort of bug that is happening, so we can't actually get any car numbers at all on this train, as you can see, which is really annoying. Maybe it's something that's got to do with the that's the weathered EWS 66. Maybe it is something to do with the livery editor that we are shortly going to have. Maybe there's something that's happened with that, because Birmingham Cross City introduced this 0000. But yeah, I'm not sure why we are getting it, and when it's going to be fixed. I've not seen any news on why not, etc. But anyway, we are on the HST. Absolutely love it. Let's listen to it. Okay, so we're back in the cab. London Paddington, 34 miles. We should be getting there at 10:37. Could be before, definitely not after, unless there's some serious problem that's going on. Anyway, so this is the Class 43, the GWR edition. So the cabs of Scotrail and Cross Country should have a very similar look to this, whereas the LNER and East Midlands trains versions were a bit different. They didn't have this like extra screen, so this was like a little bit wider, and you had space for a piece of paper, which is now here. So yeah, there's a lot of differences with it now. Now look at that gorgeous miles per hour gauge. It is lovely. And yeah, there's a lot of really nice things on this train. Unfortunately, these are slowly being scrapped at the moment, which is really not unselfish. Well, not really. Yeah, it's just not a great thing. It's hard hitting the way that the HST has defined railway in the UK and has changed high-speed trains, around the world, especially with diesels and things like this. Then it's unfair that the HSTs are having to go. But unfortunately, that is with the signs of the times, and unfortunately, things move on. I think the HST took over all of those other trains, and then they all got scrapped, and then now the HST is going through that with the lovely Class 800 ironing boards. Yeah, but never mind. It's going to happen. But thankfully, there are a few of these that are going into museums. They are going into heritage railways. There are groups and charities that are being created to preserve them, to have them on the main line. But the only downside to it is, because of the news from Great Western Railway that they are no longer using them by next year, 2024. I think it's 2024, isn't it? Yeah. By that time, the problem is that maintenance costs are going to skyrocket. because the parts aren't just going to be freely available where they're just going to be made, and at the moment they are nicking them from scrapped, you know, nicking them from other trains that are not being used, so you know it's there for parts. So yeah, it will come to a point where it will be very expensive. But then we had that with steam trains, and they're still going, and we had that with all the other diesel engines. So we are still going to have these HSTs, but just not as many. Now, when will the news come out for cross country? When will the news come out for Scotrail? We don't know. At point of recording, we don't know if and when they are going to be stopped, because Great Western have already announced it, and they look after those two services, the Scotrail and the cross country. So when are they going to, unfortunately, have that same issue? We don't know, but we just have to ignore it and try and hope that they don't go for it, and they don't scrap them and get rid of them. We want them to carry on, because the Scotrail contract is quite a few years. Hopefully they won't end it early, because the problem here is that try and replace those trains. Okay, you think now the Great Western HST Castle set has 4 carriages containing X amount of passengers. You replace it with something. What are they going to give you? A 150, a 166? They're not going to give you an 800 because there aren't enough. So it's going to be a 166. How many seats does a 166, or even 2 166s together, or 165s together? What is that going to give you? Not enough seats. The same with the HST. The HST on cross... Sorry, same with the HST. Same with cross country. With the cross country set, there are all those carriages filling all those people. Can you fit the same amount of people in one Voyager? No. Can you fit it in 2 Voyagers? Probably not. They are at prime times for those HSTs to bring the passengers where they're needed in such a way that there's enough carriages to cope with everyone. I know there have been stories of Voyagers, so cross-country 220s and 221s, where they've got 2 sets connected, but there's not enough staff to carry that, so they close a whole train. So you get an announcement: please only enter the first train. The second train connected is not currently operational, because there's no staff to cope with it. Whereas if you had the one train, you can have the staff that can carry on for all the carriages. Separate it like the Voyager, there's no walkthrough, so it's 2 separate trains effectively. So yeah, that's kind of my thinking on there. Scotrail, again, they have the carriages. You try and replace it with something, they'll give you a 158, they'll give you a 170. That's not going to carry as many people as the HST. And it kind of reminds me of, sorry for the rant, but it kind of reminds me of an A380. So an Airbus A380 can hold X amount of passengers depending on the firm, the airline that uses them. Now, when the plane is full, it is efficient. For the ratio of passenger to the plane, to the distance, etc., it is efficient. The only downside that people then think about is, what if the plane is not full? What if it is 3/4 full, 2/3 full, half full? Then it becomes inefficient. And then they start going to the 787s and the A350s. Now, what is wrong with the A350s and the 787s? They don't hold enough people. There's not enough passengers, so technically they will always be full. So yes, they'll be efficient, but you then have to have 1.5, maybe sometimes 2 planes to fit an A380 passenger base in. Do you see where I'm coming from? It's all about efficiency. If the HST was full, then it's efficient with the amount of passengers that can enter that train for that distance. It's like it always is, even with a car. A car is very inefficient if there is one person in there, but if you fill it with all seats, then it is efficient, because you are taking off 5 different cars into one, like a bus, yeah. There's always that sort of thing to kind of think about. But yeah, I really don't want them to announce it, but it's coming. It really is coming, unfortunately. And that's what I'm not looking forward to. That'll be the day, when I saw that video of Francis Bourgeois. But Why do I never remember his name? Yeah, Bourgeois. I think Bergeret. That's why. Francis Bourgeois, when he watched those HSTs go to be scrapped, where it went past him, and he was crying because it's the memories, you know, sticking your head out the window and smelling the fumes. It's all about memories. And for some of you who are old enough to remember steam trains, that is also a memory that you've got, where you no longer have that smell of steam and coal and all of that. And then you have diesels or you have electric trains, and it's just boring to you compared to what you've grown up with. Now for you guys that are younger, you're used to all these newer trains, but there will come to a point where you were of a certain age where you will have that same feeling when the newer trains then come out, and then you'll be like, no, I don't want to replace them. You know, think of the underground trains. They're going to be replaced. Those prototype trains look weird, they look different, but that's the way it goes. It updates, it keeps going, and we're just always going to have that. You don't feel it now, but you will later on in life. And this is how I feel at the moment, that I have had different generations of trains that have gone. They've not come and gone, because I'm not old enough for that, but they have been there and they're now going. It's upsetting. It really is upsetting. But anyway, that was my rant talk. Leave a comment down below. Go on our social media, go on our Discord server. You know, we can have a chat about the trains and things like that. That would be nice as well. But yeah, leave a comment, go on our Discord server, have a chat about it. That's kind of what we're there for, is, you know, just those memories, those things of looking back. You know, the other day we were on Discord and we're doing a thing of like 1 to 100 and probably further, and just posting photos of trains and public transport from different, you know, from that. So, you know, a class 43 was HST, class 41, class 37, you know, having pictures on there. Now with the 43, I posted a lot of photos, not all of my photos, there are flipping plenty of other photos of the HST, but my photos of my memories on the HST, seeing the blue HST on the Great Western, having a cooked breakfast on an East Midlands trains the last time I went on an EMT or EMR HST. You know, it's weird. It's weird that I can't do that anymore. I can't have a full cooked breakfast on a HST. The most you get is a bacon butty, you know, a bacon roll, and that's it. And it's gut wrenching, because you just want to have that again. And that's why it was really nice being at the Great Central Railway, which I know that they are doing these again, you know, where you've got the griddle car and you can get a cooked breakfast from the griddle car on a train, and that's amazing. You know, you try and tell me, cross country, do they offer breakfast? Yes. What is it? Bacon roll. East Midlands Railway, what do they offer? Breakfast. What is it? Bacon roll. What about LNER? Yes, full cooked breakfast as long as it's a certain train. Great Western, do they offer breakfast? Yes, as long as it's Pullman dining. If there is still one of the Pullman dining breakfast, I'm not sure. You know, Avanti West Coast, yes. Scotrail, no. It's that sort of thing where all that effort that has been put into it has been cut back for funds, for staff, all of that. Because I just want to sit on a train, nice white linen cloth, and have a good meal on board, and that's what I want. But I don't want to pay an arm and a leg for it. You know, I could go on Midland Pullman and pay 400 quid to go on it, but that's a lot of money, and I want to enjoy it, but then I also want you to enjoy it too. But the amount of YouTube ads and things like that to bring it back doesn't kind of warrant the cost of it with how I feel it should cost. So, you know, you could say, oh yeah, 400 quid, I'll do it, but then I may only get like 50 quid back on the video or whatever. If it's a really popular one, yeah. But I need to create the content that kind of entices people to come to it, and I've seen that lately. I've been looking at some videos and they've got hardly any subscribers, but they've got tons of views. They have been able to find a way with the YouTube algorithm to get up there and be popular, you know, to have a popular video. And I think that's what I'm going to be doing. This next video that I'm going to do, the train real world, with all those parts that I mentioned in the last video, I'm going to try and maximize that as much as possible, and hopefully not clickbait, but it's going to be some decent stuff going on and people are going to watch it, hopefully. But I need to do my research, I need to look at the history, I need to do what people want to see, but I can't make it too long. They need to be short. I would love, and you would love, to have a 1 hour long video of the train journey, but people just don't want to watch that. They want to watch a 10-15 minute video, and that's kind of what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to keep it to that. Anyway, here's the Heathrow Express, the Heathrow Spur. We are coming up to Hayes and Harlington. Oh, the driver buzzer, BBB. So yeah, we're at Hayes and Harlington now, so we know a lot of this route from now on. We've been through all the other stations. We've got that Slough with the Krispy Kreme donuts, but just go back and yeah, send me some. Anyway, right, so Hayes and Harlington, there's the EMI building. So EMI being the music business, you know, back in the day, they were in Hayes. And there's some freight train stuff. There's the concrete, and there's the Nescafe factory that's no longer there. Hayes Bypass, Tesco either side. Oh, and a Costco over there as well, but there's Heathrow over there. Come up to Southall now. This is all going to be new builds. I can't remember if I've told you before, but this, where the car park and stuff used to be fields and things, and this is where the dodgy Heathrow parking was done, a lot of it. So you would go to the station, the airport, drop off your car, and they'll dump it here. You know, for a lot of them. Some of them were dodgy, some of them were alright, but yeah, there was some real weird stuff. If you are going to park at the Heathrow or, you know, an airport parking, please, please, please use the official parking. Don't use any unofficial. Use the official ones where you can. Okay, I'm just, you know, want to protect you guys. That was Southall. This is West Coast Railway here. This was the shed that the Flying Scotsman was in back in the day when I used to pass here back in the early 2000s. But yeah, try and use official parking when you go to an airport. It is so much safer. The same way with train stations, you know, I know that Derby Station... Oh, come on, there's McDonald's. We know that Derby Station, £14.50 for the parking all day. That is expensive. I think it's about £9-10 for Nottingham, but it's about £6-7 for East Midlands Parkway. So if I ever need to park in a station, I always go to East Midlands Parkway because it is a better place to be for me to then get a train, because then I get the Nottingham trains and the Derby trains, and there's more frequency, so you try and get cheaper trains. Whereas the one where I'm going to in London in a couple of weeks, that is going to be Derby to London St Pancras, because Mrs Megasim is dropping me off and picking me up because it's late enough in the day. If it was really early in the morning, yep, she would have to do that. But yeah, just looking at my train times, when was it? The 25th, that was it. Yeah, so I'm getting a late train, later in the morning train, but it's early enough for the breakfast, as long as they've got the breakfast, and as long as they don't flipping well bring more train strikes. Right, let's initial train brakes as we now start to slow down to 100. Should have gone down a little bit quicker, but never mind. Yeah, sorry for the rant, but I just... That might be the title of the video, something about the HSTs. Instead of just saying, I'm going to London Paddington, it would be like we're talking about the HST leaving us. Why are they scrapping the HST? You know, that sort of thing. Hopefully you enjoyed it, but yeah, let me know your comments on how you feel, you know, about the railway, because you may be old enough to know those changes, maybe you're not. Maybe you're not old enough to remember, you know, old trains before this. Maybe you've been around since they've left, you know, that you're like, well, I've never seen HSTs properly because, you know, you don't live near them. Could be in another country. Okay, there's another HST. Okay, so we're on the fast track, but we need to come over. No? Okay. It did say I was going to go over, but I'm not. Okay. If that's what you say, if that's what you want me to do. There we go. We're going over now. Hey up, Johnny! Okay, we are down to 40, which is good. We should be coming into the station in 4 minutes, but hopefully it'll be just before then. So no delay repay today. I will mention one more thing. So I did have a delay repay a few weeks ago, as you know, with our trip to Grange over Sands. I went to Transpennine Express because of the cancellation that they made, but because of the East Midlands train being late. So the first one, we went from Derby to Sheffield, East Midlands Railway had to refund me. And I'm like, what? But yours was cancelled. And they went, yeah, but it was late. So if it was on, you wouldn't have been able to have got on it anyway because East Midlands Railway was was delayed. So I had to ask East Midlands Railway to refund me. Now, you know, I don't really mind where the money comes from as long as I get a refund, but I do feel that Transpennine Express should have paid for that because of the cancellation. But then, you know, yeah, thinking about it, the East Midlands Railway was delayed as well. But yeah, just a really weird one. Right, let's start slowing down again, down to 25. Now, if you want to look back at some of our videos, we were on this train with the kids when we came back from Cornwall. So we did go on this line into London Paddington. That was quite fun. And then, yeah, made our way onto London St Pancras and then came home that way. That was fun, that was. That was really fun. I think I did a video. I hope I did a video. I can't remember now. Right, platform number 9. I want it to be number 1. Okay. Here we go. Let's try and get as close as we possibly can. Three, two, there. Ta-da! Right, okay, so let's do that. Let's put that on. And open the doors. And that's the end of that chapter. That does look lovely, doesn't it? I do miss seeing the HSTs in Paddington, and I don't think I ever saw a GWR, you know, the green one, in Paddington Station, which is a real shame. It's a real shame that I never got to see them here. But, you know, that's what happens. You snooze, you lose. But no, I saw the LNER, I've seen East Midlands, Scotrail, cross country, but yeah, just never seen the green GWR in Paddington. But no, thank you so much. Sorry, I left it on a bum note there. But no, thank you so much, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos. As I said, Train Real World videos coming soon. It is going to be an epic journey. Oh yes, it's going to take me a while to do those videos. I'm just going to record and go for it. But no, thank you very much. We will see you on the next video. This is Mega Sim out of here. And what did we get? Before we go, gold. Always believe in your soul. Anyway, right. See you soon, everyone. This is Mega Sim out of here. Bye. Oh, look, there's a 166. Anyway, see ya.